I'm going to show you how I made this big stamp for my product packaging. I didn't want to spend $2.50, $3 per box for my product packaging. Instead, I just picked up these 50-cent generic boxes and stamped them. So I created this custom stamp using my XTOOL laser, which XTOOL is sponsoring this video, so you can check out links in the description below. I am so thrilled with how this came out. I love the grungy kind of texture. I was originally hoping for like a super crisp, clean stamp, but you get some bleed through from the negative space. It's really awesome. So I'm going to walk you through how I set this up in Lightburn and kind of how to adapt your logo to work as a stamp. There's a few little things that I learned along the way and a couple of ideas that kind of got sparked as a result of this process. So these are the boxes I'm using. They're super affordable. I got them on Amazon. And I'm just using a kind of regular ink pad. You know, they make some that are larger like this. So I did size my stamp appropriately to kind of fit within this area. So I just ink it up like this, go back and forth a couple times. The first time when the stamp is dry, you kind of have to rub it around quite a bit to just kind of get an initial layer of ink. Then you just kind of get it lined up and start from one side, roll over to the other side, and there you go. So this one was a little light on the ink compared to this sample right here, but I love how you've got some bleed through of the negative area, which, you know, I thought I was trying to avoid that, but I really like the way that looks. And I've got a couple of ideas on another design I might try later on. So you can see this is a 3D printed kind of stamp that I designed. I did the curve just because I felt it would be necessary to get good even pressure throughout, but in hindsight, I don't think it's really needed. You can just go with something flat. It'd be much easier. You can even just cut out a piece of plywood or something like that. So I don't think you really need to do that. But let me show you how to get this set up in Lightburn. So here's a quick overview of what we're trying to achieve and a few tips of what we're about to review. So here's a preview of what the burn is going to look like. And you'll notice that we're actually trying to burn the negative of the logo. So we're not actually cutting the logo out of the stamp. We're cutting out the inverse, so everything around the logo. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. And the other thing to keep in mind is this is only going to work on a vector image. So, you know, if you think about it, it's either the ink is making contact with the cardboard or paper or whatever, or it's not. There's really no gradient. So it has to be a vector image. So you're just removing the areas that you don't want to have touching the surface that you're trying to apply the ink to. Now, there are a couple of techniques that I've thought of using like halftone techniques, but also using kind of like a stepped engraving technique that I want to try to play around with to sort of create multi-level, multi-layered stamps. Now, the other thing you'll notice about my design is this border that I put. That was an intentional kind of functional feature that I added around the border just because the logo isn't, you know, evenly distributed. It's not square. So I just felt that having this border would help keep the stamp parallel to the surface as I'm applying it to the cardboard. So in hindsight, because, you know, originally I wanted to try to make it as clean and crisp as possible, but in hindsight, seeing, you know, some of this stuff bleed through, I actually really like that. And I think if I'm going to try this again, I would probably remove that border altogether and try a couple of things I'm going to talk to you about later on, which I think would be really cool. But like, see how you kind of get those lines in the negative space there? That's because when the laser is cutting out the rubber, it's doing it line by line. And so you can see those lines in that negative space right there. And if we look at the preview, it kind of illustrates that. So it's just going line by line, one at a time, to cut that away. The other thing you'll notice is the design has to be mirrored. So this is what the design looks like, but then when you stamp it, it's inverted. So just keep that in mind, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's start from scratch here, setting this up so you can do this with your own logo. So I'm just going to go to File, Import. Now, I did say that you have to have a vector image for this, but I can clarify because Lightburn actually has a really good raster to vector feature. So for instance, if I picked this PNG, it's technically a raster image, but with Lightburn, I can right click and select trace image, and it does a really good job of vectorizing raster images. So that's not really what I meant. I just meant you can't have kind of gradient colors and stuff like that. It's either black or white, one or the other. That's it. All right, so with the logo selected, you do want to have this as a fill. So like right now, it's set to line mode. So it's just going to cut an outline. We can preview that, see how it's just tracing around the outline. In this case, this layer is set up to cut twice, which I'll go over in a little bit here, but we actually want to set this to this layer, which is 27. So that's going to be fill. But if we look at the preview on that, it's actually cutting away the logo itself. And we don't want that. We want the inverse of that. So in order to create a negative space, we need to add a shape around it. Now, it doesn't matter too much what the actual shape is. It could be a circle, a square, whatever. I'm just going to use a square here. Another option is to simply offset the logo. You can play around with the offset distance, and you want to do outward and outer shapes only. So you don't want to do the inner shapes. And that can work too if you want to do it this way. And we want to grab our select tool again and hold down Control and select the logo as well. And then we can use the Boolean subtract to punch out the logo from the rectangle. So now if we look at the preview, we can see we have that negative space being cut instead of the logo itself. So that's really the most important thing you need to know right there. Now, obviously you should size it so it'll fit in the stamp pad. I'll have a link to this in the description below. It's from Amazon. So this is about 3 by 6 inches. And I've actually looked at some other techniques related to block printing, which I think would perform a lot better than using an ink pad like this. You just don't really get a lot of ink on this. So I'll link to some of those as well. But you basically have to roll out ink on a surface, and then you use the roller to apply the ink directly to the stamp, and then use that to stamp the boxes. So I think I'm going to try that just to get a little bit of a better quality here. You want to make sure you size everything, obviously, to fit within the stamp pad if that's what you're going to be doing. If you have the lock icon here, you can kind of quickly set your size. So like by the height, I can go 3, and then I know 4.6 will fit, and that should be good. Now, I added the extra border around my original. You can do that. Again, I don't think it's totally necessary, especially if you're using a flat stamp, but you can use the offset shape tool right here. We're just going to do the outer shapes only, just so it doesn't do the logo as well. And so you can set an offset distance, the corner style, click OK, and then you're going to do that a second time. And if we look at the preview, we can see what it'll do here. So it's going to give us that border. It's going to leave our logo and cut out everything else. Now, this most outer line right here, you can set to be cut. Now, I experimented a little bit with cutting rubber on the XTOOL D1 Pro. For some reason, they don't really have material recommendations for doing cuts. But I experimented with a 2-pass, 6-speed, 100% power, and that worked out pretty well for me. So you can try that and see if it works. That'll just cut out the shape for you. So you don't have to cut it manually, which is kind of silly. If it's already in the laser, you might as well cut it. Now, a couple of experimental things that you could try is using halftones for raster images. So this was a raster image in Illustrator, and I'm just using the pixelate halftone effect to apply a halftone to it. So you can see what it does is it creates these circles, and of course this would need to be vectorized, but this kind of gives you an idea of what halftone does. It just uses different size circles to represent gradients. And when you kind of look at it from far away, kind of gives that effect of a gradient. All right, so this is another idea I wanted to try out. So this has the negative logo cut out, but then on another layer, I've got this honeycomb that will essentially etch into the negative space. So it'll basically create this first, but then it'll go over the negative space here with this kind of honeycomb pattern. And I think it'll help kind of add some interest to the kind of negative space that gets a little bit of bleed through. So you can see here from the beginning, it goes through, gets all that negative space out of there. And then once it's done with that, it goes around again and engraves this honeycomb pattern in that negative space. And of course, whenever you're done with the design, you just want to click the mirror button right here to mirror it. That way the stamp stamps correctly. This is something I'm going to try. Maybe I'll do another video on it, but that's how you get this set up. And then you can cut it out on your laser. And I 3D printed, I just designed a really quick model and 3D printed it. But again, you can get away with just a flat block piece of wood or something like that. And you just stamp it, and you now have a very affordable way to customize your product packaging without needing to pay for custom boxes. You can just get totally generic boxes. And the thing that's really cool too is you can have an inventory of different size boxes if you have different products and stuff like that. And you just have this one stamp that you can use to brand all of those different boxes. So it totally simplifies everything. And it's really quick. It is a lot faster than like using a laser to etch a box directly. I've seen people do that. This is so much faster than like adding a sticker, anything like that. Now, once you have the stamp cut out, you'll notice there's going to be a lot of dust and residue on it. So you can just rinse that off with water and soap and like an old toothbrush or something like that. Comes off really easily. It's not hard to take off at all. Let it dry really good. And then if you are 3D printing a stamp or even using wood or something like that, I found super glue worked really well, worked better than I was even expecting. And I just made sure to use gloves and put down something to protect my desk and just put pressure, even pressure, once I applied it, and it worked out awesome. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.